Welcome to the Echmont Empire, where the palace is grand, but the secrets hiding inside are even bigger. Girl Adelaide is standing there, looking out at a life she didn't choose, but she's finally ready to take control. Just look at that profile. She's regal, she's powerful, and she is absolutely done with playing by everyone else's rules. You can see the determination in her eyes. She's finally making a choice that's for her and her alone. She's thinking, wow, that was actually way easier than I thought it would be. No turning back now. But of course, the peace doesn't last. She hears someone coming, and the vibe in the room shifts instantly. Boom, the door flies open like he's in a dramatic movie. Talk about an aggressive entrance. And there he is, Karl Echmont, the man, the myth, and the absolute headache of the hour. Adelaide doesn't even flinch. She's just like, can I help you? Or are you just here to break the door hinges? Karl looks like he's on the verge of a total meltdown. He demands to know exactly where she thinks she's going. Silence. Pure, icy silence. She doesn't owe him a single explanation, and her face says it all. He's literally chasing her down now, shouting that he asked her a question. Calm down, sir. The floor is vibrating. He gets right in her face, still trying to act like he has some kind of authority over her. The audacity is off the charts. Adelaide just looks at him with those golden eyes. She is so beyond over this man's temper tantrums. He tries to grab her, thinking he can just force her to stay. He really has no idea who he's messing with. Then he drops the name. Are you going to that guy? Oh, so he's jealous. That's actually hilarious.
He's talking about Lionel Valdir. You can see the panic written all over his face. He's losing his grip on her. Adelaide is just like, does it even matter who I'm going to? The point is, I'm done with you. She tells him straight up. She can't tolerate him for one more second. Shots fired, and they hit the mark. He tries to play the "you're my Empress" card. Where else would you be? Literally anywhere else, Karl. Adelaide just laughs. A full, genuine laugh because this whole situation is just that ridiculous. Karl is stunned. He's never seen her like this. The power dynamic is shifting right before his eyes. My Empress, she mocks. After you spent all that time trying to dethrone me? Mic drop moment right there. He's sweating now. He knows she's right, and he has absolutely zero defense for his past behavior. He tries to tell her to stop, to not say another word, but the truth is already out in the open. Adelaide gives him this little smirk. She's been waiting for the moment she could finally say this out loud. She's not just leaving the room. She's leaving the entire life he tried to trap her in. She's choosing freedom at his face. That is the look of a man who just realized he played himself and lost everything. I'm throwing it all away, she says. The title, the position, the crown. She's finally taking her power back. Cut to the open road. A new journey is officially beginning, and the stakes couldn't be any higher. She's got her squad with her, heading toward a future that she's finally building on her own terms. Carriage is moving, the flags are flying, and Adelaide is officially on the move and out of his reach.
Inside, she's reflecting on how she even got to this point. It's been a long, messy road to get this free. Meet Adelaide Gottrov, striker, princess, and a woman who just flipped the script on two different empires. It all started with that marriage proposal from Echmont, a political move that felt more like a prison sentence. Her mother, the queen, didn't even ask her opinion. She just commanded her to go and become the Empress. Adelaide's face says it all. She knew exactly what her mother was doing, shuffling her off to a different kingdom. They're standing in this cold, grand room, and the tension between mother and daughter is thick enough to choke on. Her mother is looking at her like she's just a pawn on a chessboard. It's honestly heartbreaking to watch. Adelaide tries to stand her ground, but her mother has been playing these political games way longer. Then her mom goes for the jugular. She brings up that day. You know it's about to get real dark. If only you had left your little brother Lucio to die. Can you believe a mother would actually say that? Adelaide is just frozen. It's one thing to be a pawn, but to have your own mother wish your brother was dead? That's cold. Her mother is basically saying Adelaide is too powerful and too much of a threat to the family's throne. She's using Adelaide's love for her brother as a weapon. It's the ultimate form of emotional blackmail. What about your future children? Her mother asks. She's spinning a web of fear to keep her in line. She's making Adelaide feel like everyone around her, even her allies, will eventually turn on her for the throne. Adelaide is visibly shaken. She's strong, but this kind of mental warfare from her own family is exhausting.
Your existence is like a knife to the jaw of the Empire. Wow, Mom, tell us how you really feel, why don't you? The ultimatum was clear. Leave for the sake of the Empire and your brother, or stay and watch it all burn. Back in the present, Adelaide's eyes harden. She remembers every single word of that toxic advice. She's sitting in that carriage, miles away from her home, heading straight into the lion's den. She opens a small box. It's time to finally study up on the man she's actually supposed to be marrying. She pulls out a portrait of Karl. He looks so different here. Polished, perfect, and totally fake compared to the man she met. Karl Ulrich Echmont, her fiancé. The man who's about to find out she is definitely not a damsel in distress. She closes the box firmly. She's done looking at the past. From here on out, it's all about the strategy. But wait, there's even more tea. She spots something else hidden in the file she was given. Secret document? Whatever it is, it's definitely going to be a massive problem for Karl's reputation. She pulls it out slowly. She needs to know exactly what kind of mess she's walking into before she arrives. There it is. The dossier on the Mistress, Diana Poitiers. Oh, this just got a whole lot more interesting. Adelaide just sits back and takes it in. She's crossing oceans to reach a place where she has zero allies. She knows she's heading into a territory where she can't trust a single soul, not even her own fiancé. Damn it, she thinks. The distance, the danger, the total isolation, it's a lot for one person to handle. It's a long, long way to the Echmont Empire, but she's not going there to hide. She's going there to rule.
Meanwhile, back at the Echmont Palace, the sun is setting on the old way of doing things forever. Karl is in his office, already feeling the pressure and trying to keep his cool while his world starts to tilt. He's staring at the one thing that's been haunting his thoughts ever since he heard she was coming. It's Adelaide's portrait, the one she sent ahead to give him a taste of what he's in for. She looks absolutely stunning. But there's a coldness to her beauty that he definitely didn't expect. He's leaning on his hand, staring at her image and trying to figure out what she's really thinking. Usually, brides send portraits where they look soft and welcoming. You know, trying to be likable. Not Adelaide. She didn't come to play the part of the blushing bride or the submissive wife. He finally realizes the message she's sending. She's coming as an empress, not a woman to be controlled. We stand.
The Emperor is already in a bad mood, girl. He's staring at Adelaide's portrait like it's personally offending him. He says he can feel her influence just from the picture, and he is not a fan. He's basically wishing she was just some random girl he could control, not an empress with actual power. But Adelaide is already on her way, and she is not coming to play nice. Inside the carriage, she's looking absolutely regal. Look at that hair. She's got those piercing golden eyes that just scream she is in charge now. Enter our new eye candy, Lionel Valdier. He's the Duke's second son and basically the most important guy in the military right now. He's out here in the middle of nowhere, waiting for the carriage to appear on the horizon. He's been waiting a while, but he is nothing if not patient. Finally, he spots them. He tells his men to wake up because the show is about to start. Lionel hops on his horse, ready to go greet the woman who's about to turn this whole empire upside down. Back in the carriage, Adelaide hears the thundering of hooves and realizes they are no longer alone. She peeks out the window, probably wondering what kind of welcome party she's getting. Lionel and his guard are riding hard to meet her at the first gate. Talk about a dramatic entrance. Adelaide's maid tells her they've still got another hour before they actually hit the palace. Another hour? Adelaide is not about that life. She's been traveling for 2 months and she is done with being cooped up. She tells the maid she needs to change her clothes right now. She's got a plan, and it definitely does not involve a ball gown. The carriage finally comes to a screeching halt as they reach the meeting point. Lionel steps off his horse, looking every bit the high-ranking captain he is. He's got that stoic hero look down to a science girl. He walks toward the carriage with all the confidence in the world. He's prepared for a fragile princess, but he has no idea what's waiting behind that door. He approaches the carriage door, where the maid is waiting, looking a little nervous. The maid gives him a quick nod, basically saying, "Good luck, you are going to need it." Lionel knocks politely, asking for permission to enter and greet her. He starts his whole formal introduction, sounding very professional and by the book. Then, silence. The door opens, and the air just leaves the room. Lionel's face just drops. He's completely frozen, like his brain just hit a 404 error. The maid is just standing there like, "Yeah, I know, just roll with it, Captain." Because Adelaide is sitting there in full-on riding gear. Pants, in public. The absolute scandal. Lionel literally flinches. He cannot believe his eyes right now. And then he looks at her face. And girl, those golden eyes are staring right into his soul. He's completely stunned. He's never seen anyone with this much audacity. All he can think about are those golden eyes. He's totally mesmerized. He finally remembers how to speak and manages to get out a proper greeting. He extends his hand to help her down, trying to get back into professional mode. Adelaide looks at him, totally unfazed by his obvious shock. She takes his hand and steps out, looking like the coolest person in the room. Lionel is still staring. He literally cannot help it. He's thinking, wait, her clothes. Is she serious about wearing this to the palace? Adelaide thanks him for coming all this way, acting like wearing pants to a royal meeting is totally normal. She introduces herself properly, and Lionel is just trying to keep his jaw off the ground. He finally manages to introduce himself back, but he's definitely rattled by her vibe. They're just standing there, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a sword. Adelaide looks over at the horses, and you can see the wheels turning in her head. She sees the royal guard's horses and gets a sparkle in her eye that usually means trouble. She tells him that 2 months in a carriage is way too long, and she is done with it. Lionel is confused. He's like, okay, so why are you asking about my horses? And she just gives him this smirk and says she wants to ride one, obviously.
Lionel is like, ride a horse? Right now? In front of everyone? Guards start panicking. They're like, Your Highness, these are war horses. They are mean and dangerous. Adelaide just laughs. She's like, please, I am a princess of Gottrov. Do you really think I am afraid of a horse? And before anyone can stop her, she is off. She is not waiting for permission. She's riding that horse like a total pro, hair flying in the wind. She looks absolutely incredible. Lionel is just watching her, totally impressed. He realizes she was not just being rebellious, she actually has the skills. She rides all the way to the final gate, leaving everyone in the dust. She hops off the horse like it's nothing, looking like she just went for a casual stroll. She gives the horse a little pat, thanking it for the ride. She's a natural. Lionel catches up to her, probably still processing everything he just saw. He looks at her with this new sense of respect. He is definitely intrigued now. Adelaide gives him this satisfied look. She needed that adrenaline rush to deal with this palace. Lionel asks if she's finally relieved, and she's like, yes, thank you, much better. She admits she should probably get back in the carriage before they reach the main palace, so she doesn't cause a total riot. Lionel just smiles. He is totally charmed by her at this point, girl. Adelaide gives him one last look before heading back to her carriage.
She walks away with so much confidence. Girl is a living legend already. Lionel stops in his tracks, just watching her go. She tells him she actually enjoyed the ride and hopes they can do it again soon. Lionel is just left there, staring at the carriage door as it shuts. He's got this little smirk on his face. He is definitely hooked. The door clicks shut, and the carriage starts moving again toward the palace. Lionel watches it go, probably thinking his life just got a lot more interesting. Princess Adelaide Gottrov. She is definitely not what anyone expected. Cut back to the Emperor in his study. He's trying to work, but you know he's thinking about her. He looks up as someone enters. He's already got that do not bother me face on. It's one of his servants, looking a little worried about the news he has. Maid from the Ivory Palace has arrived, with a message from the new resident. The Emperor looks annoyed. He's like, what now? What is she doing already? The maid looks like she is about to drop some serious tea about the situation. Now we are at the Ivory Palace, and look at all those shiny things. So much jewelry. Someone is picking through the royal jewelry boxes.
It's Adelaide, but she's looking a little surprised by what she is finding. Hear footsteps approaching. Someone is coming in hot, and they sound angry. He turns around, sensing the drama before it even starts. And here she is, Duchess Elizabeth, the Emperor's stepsister. She bursts into the room like she owns the place. Elizabeth is looking all smug and self-righteous. You just know she is here to cause trouble. Adelaide tries to stay polite. She gives her a proper greeting and a smile, but you can tell she sees right through her. Adelaide asks what brings her to the Ivory Palace, playing it cool while Elizabeth fumes. Elizabeth gives her this nasty look. She is already judging everything about Adelaide. She looks at all the jewelry boxes and is like, what is with all of this? She asks if the Emperor actually gave her permission to touch the royal treasures. She's basically calling her a thief. Look at that smirk. She really thinks she is winning this argument. Adelaide just smiles and explains she's picking a crown for the wedding. You know, because she is the one getting married. Elizabeth gets all huffy. She says she is worried people will protest if a mistress is picking out royal crowns. She's trying so hard to make Adelaide feel like an outsider who doesn't belong. Adelaide's face goes stone cold. She is not taking this from anyone, girl. Elizabeth picks up a different crown and says, how about choosing this one instead? She tells Adelaide it is better if someone from the family chooses it. She is literally trying to take her moment away. Adelaide looks Elizabeth dead in the eye, and you can see the fire starting. She lets out this little laugh. Girl, the shade is about to be legendary. Elizabeth's eyes are full of rage. She is absolutely fuming at being laughed at. Adelaide drops the bomb. She says since Elizabeth is the only divorced woman in the empire, maybe she shouldn't be giving wedding advice. Oh my God, she went there.
Elizabeth is absolutely speechless and humiliated. Elizabeth slams her hands down, screaming about how insolent Adelaide is. She is totally losing it. Right at that moment, the Emperor bursts in like, what on earth is happening here? Girl, the drama is peaking. The Emperor literally bursts through the door like he's on a mission. The tension is already through the roof. The Emperor's sister just looks at him, totally unfazed, while the drama unfolds right in front of her. And of course, there's Diana, looking like she's about to win an Oscar for Best Supporting Victim. Karl's face says it all. He is not here for games, and he's definitely not on his sister's side. Diana immediately pulls the Your Majesty card, trying to look as fragile as possible. The tears start flowing. Like, girl, we get it. You're the innocent one. Give it a rest. You can see him softening. He's falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. Duchess is literally calling her a fox in her head. She sees right through the act. He's like, what is this? Totally demanding an explanation for why his precious mistress is upset. The Duchess isn't backing down. She's like, shouldn't you be worried about state affairs instead of your mistress? Preach. She tells him straight up. She hasn't done anything wrong, even if he won't believe her. Anna keeps up the act, making herself look even more pitiful while the Duchess stands her ground. Karl isn't buying it. He's so blinded by Diana that he can't see the truth right in front of him. Then Diana drops the "it's all because I'm lacking" line. Oh, please. The manipulation is unreal. They look like the perfect couple, and the Duchess is just the mean sister-in-law in their twisted story. The Duchess realizes she has no voice here. Diana is using the wedding prep to show off her power.
He looks at his sister and basically tells her to be grateful that Diana is even volunteering to help. Then he brings up her divorce. That was a low blow, Karl. Seriously, how could you? He sighs like he's the one being burdened. He gives her one last warning to stop picking on Diana. He's dead serious. He put Diana in charge and his sister just has to deal with it. The Duchess's eyes are burning. She doesn't want to see this mess ever again. He just turns his back on her. The disrespect is actually making my blood boil. She watches him walk away, knowing that the gap between them is just getting wider. The look in her eyes, she's hurt, but she's also done. She knows exactly where she stands now. She's keeping it all inside, but you can feel the storm brewing under that calm exterior. She's staring at the door long after he's gone. This isn't over, not by a long shot. The door slams shut, leaving her in the silence of her own realization. She just collapses onto the sofa. The weight of it all is finally hitting her. She's exhausted. Dealing with those two is a full-time job she never signed up for. She remembers how everyone thinks Karl is the sun, and the closer you are, the more you shine. But Diana knows she's the only moon. She thinks she's untouchable as long as she has Karl. The Duchess knows Diana can manipulate the Emperor like a puppet. It's scary how much power she has.
Later on, Diana is actually caressing Karl's hair while he rests on her lap. The audacity! He looks so peaceful, totally unaware that he's being played by the person he trusts most. He tells her he wants to stay like this a bit longer. He's completely under her spell. Anna looks down at him, her eyes filled with a weird kind of possessiveness. To her, he's perfect. He's the Emperor. But in her head, he's just hers. She has zero intention of sharing him with anyone, especially not the new Empress. He starts to wake up, and you can see the stress in his eyes. He's totally vulnerable to her. His eyes snap open, and the first thing he sees is Diana. Always Diana. Sits up quickly, looking a bit disoriented. The mood in the room just shifted. And here we go again. She's back to the waterworks. She really knows how to play her role. He asks if she's still hurt by his sister's words. He's so protective, it's almost nauseating. She starts sobbing about how the new Empress might be displeased with her. She's laying it on thick. He tells her the Empress will never be able to harm her. He's basically giving her a free pass to do whatever she wants. She tries to act like she's the one standing in the way of his future. Girl, please, you love being in the way. She tells him he's the only one she wants. That fake, sweet voice is enough to make anyone cringe. Karl looks stressed. He wants to keep her by his side, even if it means causing a political scandal. She tells him she's fine just being by his side. Yeah, right. We all know she wants more. She reaches out to touch his face, acting like she's his only comfort in the world. They share this tender moment, but it feels so calculated. Diana is definitely winning this round. Karl's expression is so intense. He's determined to protect his mistress, no matter the cost. Diana clings to him,
thinking to herself that she'll never let anyone steal him away. Now we're back with the Duchess. She's looking at something, probably more wedding plans she has to deal with. She's having tea with her brother, but the conversation is anything but relaxing. He's surprised that she even chose the Emperor's coat. He knows how much she's handling right now. The Duchess is just staring ahead. She's realized something, and it's about the people around her. She notices the maids standing by the door. One of them catches her eye for a very specific reason. The maid has light blonde hair and deep blue eyes, just like someone we know. The Duchess tells the maid to lift her face. She's checking every detail, and she doesn't like what she sees. Blonde hair, blue eyes. It's a recurring theme in this palace, and she is over it. She thinks the maid isn't noticeably beautiful, but the resemblance is enough to be suspicious. She tells both of them to leave. She needs to talk to her brother in private, right now. The maids leave, but you can feel her gaze burning into the back of their heads.
She turns to her brother and gives a very specific order. No more maids with blonde hair and blue eyes, period. He's like, do you know how common that is? He thinks she's being unreasonable, but he doesn't get it. She doesn't care. She tells him he has to do exactly as she says. She's not taking any chances. He finally gives in, but he still thinks she's just being difficult. If only he knew the real reason. She warns him to be careful with his words. The palace walls have ears, and they're always listening. He looks a bit annoyed, but he knows better than to argue with her when she's like this. Then he asks her the big question. Does she really think she can hang on against the new Empress? He points out that the Empress is a princess from a powerful kingdom. She's not going to be easy to handle. Duchess is like, what do you mean by that? She's ready for whatever challenge comes her way. He explains that even if Karl can't live without Diana, he won't give her the title of Empress. It's a harsh truth. He warns her that the new Empress won't let a mistress off easily. She'll have to assert her position immediately. He's worried for her. He's heard rumors that the new Empress is exceptionally beautiful and strong. He even suggests she should have gotten pregnant before the marriage. Like, wow, talk about desperate measures. He's really pushing the idea, but his sister isn't having any of it. She snaps. Do you think that's as easy as it sounds? She's finally letting some of that frustration out. He flinches. He definitely touched a nerve. Her temper is not something you want to mess with.
She takes a breath and calms down. She tells him that the Empress won't be granted anything by the Emperor. She reveals a huge secret. Karl has a severe hatred for the word Empress. Wait, what? Her brother is totally lost. He has no idea what she's talking about, but we're all ears. She says the reason he won't make Diana Empress is actually because he loves her. Okay, girl, explain. He thinks it's total nonsense. He's like, love grows cold. You don't know men. He warns her that Karl's love could turn cold one day. He's trying to be the voice of reason, but she just says, I know. She's way ahead of him on this one. She says love for the living can grow cold, but love for the dead never does. That's dark. She explains that Karl sees his mother in Diana. He's not in love with her. He's in love with a ghost. She opens the locket, revealing a picture of Karl's mother. The resemblance is uncanny. His mother passed away because of the former Empress. That's why he hates the very title. She knows that as long as Diana looks like his mother, his love will never fade. It's twisted, but it works. She clicks the locket shut. She's found the ultimate leverage, and she's going to use it. Her brother just looks at her, probably a little terrified of how calculating she's become. She believes it's better to be a mistress with love and power than an empress with just a title. The next day, people are lining up at the palace to welcome the new Empress, Adelaide. She's sitting there, looking every bit the royal she is, but there's one person missing. Everyone wants to make a good impression on her, but the one person who matters still hasn't shown up. The day turns into evening, and the parade of greetings finally comes to an end. Still no news of the Emperor. He's literally ghosting his own Empress on her arrival day. The maids are starting to whisper. They can see how bad this looks for Adelaide. Adelaide just smirks. She knew he wouldn't come. She's not even surprised anymore. She decides she's tired and heads off to take a bath. She's not going to sit around waiting for him. She tells them to send anyone else back. She's done for the day, and she's not taking visitors. She's finally in her room, ready to relax after a long day of being ignored by her husband. But then, she notices something, or someone. Her guard is immediately up. She looks across the room and sees a woman standing there. Who could possibly be in her private chambers? It's Diana. But she's dressed up and looking completely different. The audacity of this woman is actually insane. Our girl is back in her room, trying to get a moment of peace, but you just know the drama is right around the corner. And speak of the devil, she walks in and finds some random woman just chilling in her private bedchamber like she owns the place. Like, excuse me?
Who is this girl and why is she acting so comfortable in a room that isn't hers? She introduces herself as Diana Poitier, looking all sweet and innocent, but we know better. Then it clicks. This is the woman from the documents, the Emperor's little mistress. The audacity to show up here. She sees the Empress is all wet from the rain and immediately tries to play the helpful soul. Look at those big blue eyes. She's trying so hard to look like she wouldn't hurt a fly. But girl, we see you. She actually has the nerve to offer to dry the Empress's hair. Is she for real right now? And then she has the gall to think to herself that the Empress's face isn't even the Emperor's type. The shade. She's standing there with this tiny, smug smile. She really thinks she's winning this little power play. The Empress just stares her down and asks, "Are you a maid?" Burn. Anna gets all defensive, saying no, she's definitely not a maid. Okay, then what are you doing? So the Empress hits her with the logic. Then why on earth are you trying to dry my hair? And more importantly, why are you in my bedroom without my permission? Get her, girl. Anna tries to pivot, saying she just wanted to inform her of something important. Here comes the nonsense. The Empress is like, regarding what? She's clearly not in the mood for games. This whole confrontation is so tense, you could cut it with a knife. You can see the Empress is just waiting for her to slip up. Anna drops the bomb. She wants to talk about the Emperor's preferences. Oh, she did not just go there. She starts gesturing towards the Empress's hair like she's some kind of beauty consultant. She tells her the Emperor likes wavy hair and suggests she should change hers. The level of disrespect is insane. Then she suggests the Empress needs more makeup to look rosy. Is she calling her pale and ugly? I'm fuming. You can practically see the smoke coming out of the Empress's ears. She is done. How dare she? Yeah, that's exactly what we're all thinking. She snaps. The Empress grabs her, and for a second, I thought she was going to throw hands. She repeats it back to her with pure venom. Preferences? You want to talk to me about his preference? But then she just lets go and coldly asks for a glass of wine. Talk about a total mood shift. She sits down, acting like Diana is just a servant, saying she'll sleep better after a drink. The disrespect is returned. She asks Diana why she's even giving advice that nobody asked for. It's a total shut up moment. Diana looks all hurt and says she just thought the Empress would be curious. Girl, please. The Empress asks her if she's the type who just loves gossiping about other people's business. Diana is completely stunned. She didn't expect the Empress to have this much bite. Then the Empress asks, "Can you go tell the Emperor about my preferences then?" She says she likes a man who can actually talk about private issues in person, not through a mistress. Mic drop. Diana's face is priceless. She's realizing she's totally outmatched here. The Empress makes it clear. She has never changed herself for anyone. And she's not starting now. She tells her to keep those preferences to herself and stop bothering her. Diana is left standing there, looking like she just got slapped across the face with words. You can go now. The ultimate dismissal. Get out of here. Anna looks down, and you can tell she's absolutely seething under that fake exterior. Then she puts on that fake smile again and apologizes, saying she was just excited. Yeah, right. The Empress doesn't buy a single second of it. She's just watching her leave. Diana leaves with one last sweet offer to help if anything is uncomfortable. She is so fake, it hurts. But the Empress is thinking about what she said, how she instructed the servants. She watches her walk out, but the anger is still simmering. She realizes Diana is acting like the lady of the house, giving orders to her staff. It's absolutely ridiculous. She arrives at her new home and is greeted by the mistress acting like the boss. She clenches her fist. This isn't just about a mistress. It's about her respect as an empress.
Karl Ulrich Echmont? He's really pushing her buttons before they even get to the altar. Meanwhile, rumors are spreading through the palace like wildfire about how the emperor never even wanted a bride. But our girl is getting ready anyway. She's got a role to play, and she's going to do it with style. She looks at her dress, knowing that tonight is going to be a battlefield of its own. She touches the fabric, preparing herself for the circus that is about to happen. Her maid comes in to help her with the final touches for the big ceremony. They bring out this gorgeous platinum crown. It's sparkly, it's expensive, it's not enough. She looks at it, and you can see her mind working. She's making a statement. Maid places it on her head, but something just feels off to her. She looks in the mirror and decides she's not going for silver today. She doesn't like it. It's too subtle, too quiet for the message she wants to send. She grabs that crown and basically says, no, this isn't it. She demands a gold crown instead. She wants to shine so bright they can't ignore her. Meanwhile, over in another part of the palace, someone is having a total meltdown. The Emperor finds Diana trembling and crying. Oh, here we go with the wirework. She looks up at him with those big, teary eyes, playing the victim perfectly.
She leans into him, sobbing about how sorry she is. Girl, what are you even sorry for? Karl looks at her and sees someone fragile that he needs to protect from the mean Empress. She's doing the absolute most, making herself look like a kicked puppy. Tears just keep coming. She's a professional at this point. Karl is actually feeling sick just hearing the word Empress. He's totally triggered. Diana praises the Empress, calling her noble and beautiful, but you know there's but coming. And there it is. She mentions how the Empress thought she was just one of the maids. Karl's mother was a maid, so this hits him right in the trauma. Diana knows exactly what she's doing. He's getting more and more upset, thinking the Empress is just like the people who looked down on his mother. Diana sees it's working and cranks up the drama. She's got him right where she wants him. She whimpers about how sad she was that she couldn't even say who she was to the Empress. Look at that single tear. If there was an Oscar for manipulative mistress, she'd win it. Suddenly, she starts gasping for air. Is she having a panic attack or just a really committed performance? Karl is panicking now, holding her and begging her to breathe. He's totally hooked. He's screaming for a physician, completely losing his mind over her. She collapses right there in his arms. The drama is at an all-time high. She whispers, "Please don't throw me away," like she's in some tragic romance novel. Karl looks like he's about to go to war. The Empress is definitely going to pay for this. He just holds her as she faints, completely forgetting everything else. And just like that, the mood shifts. It's time for the wedding. But where's the groom? The cathedral is stunning, but the atmosphere inside is getting very awkward. All the nobles are whispering, "Why hasn't His Majesty shown up yet? This is a disaster." And there she is, our Empress, standing all by herself at the altar. My heart is breaking for her, but she isn't crying. She's cold as ice, thinking, does he really think he can make me look this ridiculous?
The clock is ticking and everyone is literally holding their breath. The tension in this room is thick enough to cut with a knife, and we haven't even started yet. Adelaide is just standing there looking like a literal goddess in that gown, but you can hear the whispers. The nobles are already starting their gossip and it is getting loud. She's trying to keep her cool, but honestly, she feels like she's being thrown into a shark tank without a life jacket. Look at these people snickering behind her back. It makes my blood boil. Adelaide is literally gritting her teeth, trying not to snap at them. In this moment, she remembers her nanny's words. In a place like this, there's absolutely nobody to trust but yourself. Her nanny was the only one who truly cared, crying as she told her that she has to be the one to protect her own honor and dignity. That's right, time to lock in. Adelaide isn't going to let these vultures see her sweat for even a second. She takes a deep breath and looks around. Why on earth is she the only one standing while all these nobles are comfortably seated? It's a total power play to make her look pathetic. Well, two can play at that game. She calls over an attendant with the most effortless, cold, "You there," you've ever heard. The nobles are like, wait, what is she doing? They have absolutely no clue what's about to hit them. She demands a chair. Yes, girl. If the Emperor is going to be this late to his own wedding, she's gonna wait in style. She sits down like the absolute queen she is. The sheer audacity. I am obsessed with this move. She's not playing around. The crowd is absolutely reeling. She's seated? Yes, she is. And what are you guys gonna do about it? Exactly. Nothing. Look at that gorgeous, confident smile. She's basically telling them that if the Emperor wants her standing, he should have been here on time. The silence in the room is deafening now. She just flipped the entire script and took control of the room without even raising her voice. Even the Duke, Lionel Valdir, is impressed. He can see exactly what she's doing, and honestly, he's totally here for the drama.
He's looking at her with such intensity. There's definitely something brewing there, and I'm already shipping it so hard. Adelaide notices him too. She's wondering who this handsome guy is and why he's staring like he can see right through her. Lionel Valdir. Remember that name, because he's definitely going to be the main character in her new life. She keeps her cool, sitting there regally while the atmosphere in the room completely shifts in her favor. The whispers have changed from mockery to pure awe. She turned a humiliating weight into a display of absolute regal power. This blonde noblewoman, Elizabeth, is totally caught off guard. Adelaide just put every single person in this room in their place with one move. Elizabeth and her companion decide they need to go greet the future Empress right now. The tide has officially turned, baby. She introduces herself as Elizabeth Ulrich Grant. Talk about a complete 180 in attitude once they realized she's a boss. Ulrich joins in too. Everyone wants a piece of her now that she's shown she's definitely not a pushover. Adelaide handles it with so much grace, but she's low-key thinking, can we just get this wedding started so I can officially be in charge? She tells them she wants to hurry up and become an Ulrich. She's ready to claim her title and her power, and she's not hiding it. They're all laughing and totally charmed by her now. She's already winning over the court, and the emperor hasn't even shown his face yet. Everyone is agreeing. She already looks and acts like the perfect empress. The plan is working perfectly. She graciously offers them a seat too, showing them exactly who has the higher rank here. She's the one giving permissions now. Elizabeth is actually impressed. She's thinking about how Karl's face is going to look when he finally sees this. Oh, the tea is about to be piping hot. She can't wait for the emperor to walk in and see his supposedly docile bride running the entire show.
And speak of the devil, the doors are finally opening. Here comes the man of the hour, finally deciding to show up. Enter Emperor Karl Ulrich Echmont. He's gorgeous, sure, but look at that cold expression. He looks like he'd rather be literally anywhere else. Everyone immediately drops into a bow. The atmosphere just got ice cold the second he stepped into the room. He's walking down the aisle with so much arrogance. He doesn't even look at the people he's passing. It's like they're invisible. Every step he takes just screams, I'm the boss and I'm incredibly annoyed to be here. He's such a mood, but not a good one. Look at that glare. He's already spotted her, and you can tell he is absolutely not happy with what he sees. He sees her sitting on that chair, and he is absolutely fuming. He expected her to be standing there trembling, not lounging like she owns the place. Adelaide stands up and calmly tells the attendants they can take the chair away now. The shade. I am living for this. The attendants scurry to move it. You can practically feel the power struggle happening in real time between these two. Karl is genuinely surprised. She's the literal embodiment of an empress, and it's clearly catching him off guard. She stares right back at him with those golden eyes. She is not intimidated by him at all, and it's making him crazy. He's getting even more irritated. He can't stand that he's not the only powerful person in the room anymore. They exchange the most formal, icy greetings. Girl, you could freeze a lake with the vibes between these two. Adelaide thinks he has a graceful face, but his beauty doesn't mask how cold-hearted he seems. The portrait definitely didn't do his coldness justice. She's already exhausted, and the ceremony hasn't even finished. Dealing with this man is going to be a full-time job. An attendant brings over the bouquet. It's finally time for the walk down the aisle. Let's see how this goes. She takes the flowers, looking stunning, but her mind is already racing with a million different ways to handle this man. The attendant tells the emperor to take her hand and walk her down the aisle. Standard wedding stuff, right? Well, think again. Karl gives him the most terrifying look. He is absolutely not about to play nice for the cameras. He literally ignores her hand and just starts walking. The level of disrespect is actually insane. I'm fuming for her. Adelaide is stunned. She knew he was cold, but this? Doing this in front of the entire empire is a whole new level of petty. He's just leaving her there. My jaw is on the floor. He's trying to humiliate her in the most public way possible. The nobles are losing their minds. He refused to hold her hand. The gossip mill is going to be running for weeks over this. Even Lionel is like, what on earth? This is a disaster of epic proportions, and everyone is watching. Adelaide is fuming. You can see the anger radiating off her. She's definitely not going to take this lying down. She's literally shaking with rage. If looks could kill, Karl would be a goner right now. She's reaching her limit. The poor maid is terrified. She offers the bouquet again, but the entire vibe of the wedding is already ruined. Adelaide pushes it away with a sharp gesture. She doesn't need flowers to walk down an aisle and claim her throne. Karl is still walking ahead like he's the only person in the room. His arrogance is just on another level. She catches up to him and tells him to keep walking and not to stop. She's taking charge of the situation again, even if he hates it. He asks what she means, and she's just done with him. The fire in her eyes is absolutely terrifying. They're at the altar now, but the conversation they're having is anything but holy. This is war.
Karl brings up the fact that she asked if Diana was a maid. He's actually defending that girl at his own wedding. The nerve! While the priest is talking about God's will, Karl whispers the ultimate insult. I won't spend our first night with you. My heart just broke for her. Imagine being told that on your wedding day. He is truly a monster. They glance at each other, and the hatred is palpable. This is officially going to be the messiest marriage in history. Then, Adelaide just smirks. God's will? She thinks it's hilarious that he thinks he can just discard her like that. He has no idea who he's dealing with. The priest officially announces it. Adelaide Gottrov has officially become Adelaide Ulrich Echmont. Damn it, she thinks. There's no turning back now. She's officially the Empress, and the real war is just beginning.